No fuss, no monthly fee. Open to drive-free checking today at avnirfinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
Hey, I'm 60 KBLU. Start with you, Bill. What are you here with me?
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday.
Good Monday to you. It's let me see, what time is it? I don't even know.
It's a beautiful day.
6:05.
6:05.
I'll count 5. I'll round it up by 2 seconds. And I'm back in on Monday, thank goodness. And I thought it would be, after surgery on Friday. It wasn't. I mean, it's a pacemaker, which is not. I don't know. Is that major? I guess there's a wire that goes in your heart. For me, a couple. I found out.
They did a couple.
I didn't even know.
Maybe an extra one just in case.
It was kind of like a second half off. So
buy one, get one.
I didn't know.
Well, we're really glad it went well, and we were praying for you.
I called the hospital afterwards. I called Michelle Hiddington, vice president over there. I know her real well.
Yeah.
And she didn't know I was going in there. I didn't tell anybody at the hospital. And I just want to let her know, what a great service. I mean, the cath lab and the cardio lab, surgery and all that.
They
wonderful. Treated me right. And I tried, I didn't want him to know I was going to go in because she would have called him and said, look, he's got a microphone. Don't.
It might be planted somewhere.
No.
Maybe they stuck one in there.
No, I hope not. I wasn't interested in that, man. I just wanted to get through it. But said it in the pre-op. They're wonderful people. Really nice. They had to shave my chest. I wasn't happy about that. I figured the it's only going to cover a couple square inches.
Right.
They shaved me from my belly to my neck,
shoulder
to shoulder, man. Jeez. I'm going to itch for weeks.
Yeah. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I guess they were paranoid about hair. I don't know about that. But afterwards, I was awake, but not. I mean, the whole thing lasted an hour. I certainly don't have a memory of an hour.
Right.
I don't have a memory of feeling much at all.
They put you all the way out, though, right?
No. So there was, I mean, there were times I could, what they said is they're not going to put me all the way out, but I won't remember it.
Yeah.
And I probably don't remember most of what was going on. But I did wake up for sure. I mean, I was wide awake inside surgery. So while they were pulling the tape off and getting me ready to go, and load me on the gurney, all that I was wide awake, and I was even at other times of it. I couldn't see anything. There was plastic covering around me, that I couldn't see anything, but I couldn't really feel much. I mean, I felt some of the injections going in the chest, numbing.
Right.
That was about it. But the doc afterward, I talked to Dr. Singh, and Dr. Singh was my cardiologist. He said, "Man, it was I was easy apparently. Working out in the gym, opened up things, opened up pathways. I don't have blockages, so it was a slam dunk in out, and I didn't get a discount."
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. They charge you extra for the hard ones, but
they should.
The easy ones, they should give you a discount.
Should be time and material.
That's right.
And I felt amazingly good afterwards. Of course, the Novocaine's still on the chest. It
kind of helps a little bit. Yeah.
And I was ready to go, man. I was like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, no, you have to sit there.
Take it easy there, Turbo.
Sit there. And I found out, I wasn't allowed to drink water at all.
Right.
From midnight to the day before and all that stuff. But for some reason, I had to go pee, which I now makes sense because of the IVs.
Right. Yeah.
So I said, you show me where the bathroom is. He says, no, you're not getting up. I said, oh, no.
Yeah, use this.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. But my legs are perfectly fine. I think I can make it. But I guess
So they didn't say you said anything silly coming out of
not to
your
my knowledge.
anesthesia.
I know. I didn't think so. I didn't threaten anybody. I didn't do any of that. But I had a lot of energy. In fact, and it surprises me. My heart rate was very low, and I didn't talk about much on air how low it was, but in the pre-op, they hook you all up, with the AKG and all the stuff on there. And I mean, alarms are going off in my room constantly.
Wow.
Constantly, because and Helen came in, of course, to give me comfort and aid,
Right.
and she's looking at it. And I said, "Well, what does it say? Oh, you're 47,
Wow.
50, 55, 40. The lowest I got was 32. Now, when it gets down to 32, sounds like a cop car.
Got the alarms going off everywhere.
Yeah, and they ignored me. I sound like I'm getting pulled over in that room, and they can watch it up front. They can see it. They know what's going on. And then they knew my injury and all that stuff. So they didn't panic and run it. No need. But Dr. Singh was wonderful. And I'll find out how it all goes. I'm supposed to talk to somebody today to find out how to Bluetooth my pacemaker.
Oh, nice. Okay.
My pacemaker will be Bluetoothed into my cell phone. Hope I don't hit a wrong number. I won't have access to programming. This is strictly just recording. I'm just recording so I can send it for, which is very helpful. And they put the second lead in there to monitor the AFib. So I got one to keep my heart going above 60 beats a minute, which may be too fast for me. I don't know. I guess that's all adjustable.
Right.
They can do that at any time. I didn't realize I had two leaks. I never got to talk to Dr. Singh ahead of time much. And Dr. Dima, my regular cardiologist, she had an emergency. I had a schedule with her. I made a schedule to sit down and talk more detail. She had an emergency in the hospital, couldn't do it on Wednesday. And there was no time to reschedule before Friday.
Right.
So I went in without some of my questions answered, which was fine, but because I already made the determination and understanding and additional opinions that it was necessary. I mean, it wasn't necessary. So I'll find out more afterwards. I'm not going to select a brand or anything.
Right.
I'm going to let them do that. So, but I talk. Every time you get an instrument implanted in you like that, something technical, there's always a representative from the manufacturer in the room,
Right.
the surgery, and helping answer questions to the doctors or whatever. I mean, the doctors are very familiar, but they're there to make sure that their equipment
Goes in right.
Yeah. and is hooked up right and everything, because they have a liability also. If something goes wrong, your equipment malfunction, you installed it wrong. You don't want to get in that. So they're there to observe it and do it. That's very customary. But afterwards, he came and said hello. And I said, "Man, I got some questions. What kind of pacemaker did I get?" And that kind of stuff. And that's when I found I got 2 wires. I said, "Well, what's the necessity?" And he answered all that from a technical
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to know if I could use some of the equipment at the gym, electronic equipment. There's a scale that measures body fat, muscle, and all that kind of
Heart
stuff
rate.
per arm and all that, and it sends electrical images through your body.
Right.
And the machine itself in the gym says don't use it on pacemaker, which that doesn't mean it's up to the pacemaker,
Right.
I would think. And what he told me, he says, yeah, it'll send an electrical out there, and it'll jumble things in the pacemaker and all that while it's on. And I said, well, that's all fine and good, and I'm not worried about that. But does it hurt the pacemaker's problem? Well, no, it's fine.
Right.
It may cause it to pause for a minute, possibly. But he gave got the tech numbers. He wants me to verify that with the technical people and all that stuff. We said, go ahead. In the worst case that happens, like if I were to put a magnet on my pacemaker, it puts it into safe, which would be a constant 85 beats a minute. And that's all, 85 beats. And it would just go there. Take the magnet away, and it goes right back to its program. But it just goes into its standard safe mode, kind of like a car. It has a safe mode. So a magnet won't hurt it. You know, and you can go through TSA
Yeah.
and all that. You're going to get flagged, so I'll have a card in my.
Yeah, because it's going to read the.
Yeah, say, what are you concealing there?
Yeah.
Little bomb in your chest or something? You got that going on? They can't be too careful. That's fine. But so far, it's amazingly given me a little more energy.
Cool.
Even though it was unexpected, didn't know. But on Saturday, I had scheduled to go to a prayer breakfast over at the Church for the City for a men's prayer breakfast. But I left it as a question mark because I may wake up crying and asking for
Right.
my mommy or something. I,
You have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know. But I arranged for a guy to pick me up and take me and keep an eye on me to make sure that I stay away from crowds.
Right.
Stuff, I don't get bumped. I got to keep the left arm limited in motion, range of motion, because that
You don't want to
that's
tear
just
anything or.
yeah, that's the side the pacemaker's on, and it's wired to the heart. And if I move around too much with the left arm, it could actually pull wires out
Mhm.
or dislodge them
Yeah.
from where they put them. And they say that's not good. But after 4 weeks, the body develops a scar tissue all around them, and it becomes
Settles in.
yeah, it settles in. You're not gonna yank them out so easy.
So what did the second lead do? What was the second lead?
Just monitor the AFib.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So it's in a different part of the heart, atrium, and the shocker thing is down in the ventricle. But it's going to monitor, which is not a bad deal because, like I talked to the technician, he says, "Well, we can set you up with a device at your house that will take the programming from your and forward it on to your doctor."
Right.
Or if you have a smartphone, and we kind of prefer that, you're carrying it 24/7. If you keep it on all the time, I said, I do. My phone's never off. It's always on. And he said that's our most preferred method. That you'll always have it with you and everything. It'll tell everything that's going on. Your doctor will see any hiccups, problems, anything going on. Pretty amazing technology that we've got now. The
crazy.
Technology's changed so drastically. It's it's always wearable tech type stuff.
Yeah.
And all that. And I talked to Edward yesterday, my fact checker. He's called, see how I have it, everything. And he's always skeptical. Says, "You're gonna let it be on your phone? Well, who's your carrier?" Yeah,
Let's make sure it's
trying to sow doubt. Like they're gonna break into your phone. In fact, he may have already done that. He may have already broke into my phone. But I don't know that there's a programming deal. The doctor has programming ability to change. Because right now my heart rate can't go any lower than 60 beats a minute. It'll kick in and take over. And with my history of going down into the 30s, things going to get a lot of work. But that may change after I get an ablation. I get an ablation in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll be right back in the hospital.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I told them all to expect me.
I'll see you again.
Yeah,
So,
I'm a
yeah, you don't want to give Helen that programming opportunity because you make her mad and she may just make you jump all over the place.
I ain't worried about it. Helen can sue. I know. In fact, I've asked that the officials at the hospital that are in charge of that little thing come in on the radio, and Michelle's hitting it up. She's gonna.
Oh, cool.
She's gonna bring him in here this week or next. Before I go in for an ablation.
Yeah.
And the ablation, the technique to use an ablation didn't exist in the United States a year ago.
Wow.
And that's when they go into the heart to actually kill off part of the cells that are rogue. As you get older, and you have some scar tissue and stuff, the parts of your heart that are going to send out electrical signals that aren't supposed to, and that causes the fibrillation and extra beats and rapid heart rate and all the stuff. And they can go in there and kill on the inside of the heart, go into the inside of the heart and kill those cells. Didn't them? They use cold, they use heat, and now radio frequencies. And they have to kill them in certain areas after they map it. They go in and map it first.
Wow.
With a probe that they put in your heart, and it travels around the heart. They give it a 3D imagery of everything that's going on in your heart, where the firing's coming from, and the problems are. And then they send in the killers
and just target. everything that's
target area,
Yes,
target
great.
the spots that are causing the problems. And the success rates that I've read on those at 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 my age is somewhere 90% the first time. They say first time. Usually they can go in and get them the first time. That depends on the doctor's experience, timing, the procedures. Now with this new radio frequencies, I guess they're more successful. I don't know how much. I couldn't get those numbers, but they're more successful. So the 90 may be using a mixture, heat, freezing, radio stuff. And the only side effects possibly is death or stroke.
Yeah, just little things.
Well, it's on. I think that's on. I think that's on every medication.
Yeah, it's
isn't
on
it?
every medication.
It's on aspirin. I guess they cover all their bases and all that kind of stuff. But no, it's come unfortunately pretty routine.
Yeah.
One in 20 people my age have a pacemaker in the
Wow.
United States. But then by the time you're 80, it's like 1 in 5.
Wow.
I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
I didn't know that many people. So I bought stock in Mirtronics. looks like a growth business,
Right.
Looks like growth. And amazingly, the pacemakers have become so prolific that there's tons of young people that have heart issues of some kind that ended up with pacemakers that just wasn't available.
Yeah.
That they can do so many neat things with them now that they can do it. And then you start talking about problems of changing the batteries. That's nothing I can do myself.
And you can't go down to the watch hospital and have them
Nope.
put in a
Nope. And they say that it's supposed to last 7 to 12 years or so. Depends on how much you're using it.
Right.
How much electricity. And then they just take the whole thing out, put a new one in, and they use the same wire.
Yeah.
So it's a quick lube.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oil
Something
change.
like that. Oil change. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good
Hey, good
morning.
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good Monday. Hey, let's talk about last week. Senator Gallegos came down. Did you guys hear about that?
I didn't. You did?
Yeah, he was down. Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention because I was feeling sorry for myself. But go ahead.
So I was invited by a mutual friend,
Okay.
the mayor of San Luis,
Oh,
to come to the town hall meeting. They asked me to come to a VIP that they had in Eddie. So I said, no, that's okay. I'd rather go to, if anything interested, would be the town hall. Because I want to see the community. Come down there. I want to see the community. Grassroots that they have.
Mhm.
Because I want to see what we're going to encounter this winter.
wonderful.
So I went down there. I was obviously the leader. Sat down. I looked for Lennon, Gloria Torres, the youth from the 2020, 2022
Sure.
ballot scheme.
Ooh.
None of them were there. I'm surprised. Could have filled the room. A lot of groups were coming from Phoenix, Tucson, which is and then a few other groups. We were brought to the back before even Senator got there
Uh-huh.
to discuss if we had any questions. To already put the questions in the net. The senator has, teed up questions so he can hit it out.
So someone can give him the answers, you mean? But go ahead.
Correct. So while we were there, and they were asking me, and I said, I much prefer to give my question off the response of the crowd. And what I meant that is because I want to see the questions that they're giving him, and his response for me to ask him a question off a response.
Uh-huh.
And they said, hey, not a problem.
Oh, they did. Good.
When we were talking about that, he ended up walking up and he wanted to take pictures individually. I said, no, thank you. But then they put us in a picture group. So I took a picture as a group, stuck us in on the side. And then from there, when they started, I was sitting in the back. Then about the end is when he actually became Gallego, correct?
Yeah.
At the beginning, he was just catering. It's a rural area. He knows you can't go woke because that's just not the type of people there.
I was hoping he would.
Yeah, no, he did it until the end when one of the ladies that lived in Gadsden I know this lady, super Democrat. She's a DACA recipient. She stood up, asked a question. It was not a question that was read off their cell phone, and talked about DACA, talked about immigration reform. And I was actually surprised because the face he put was, he was up front. He's like, when I wasn't in office, we had the 3 executive powers, and DACA wasn't of interest. And I was surprised because he said his own party had a couple chances between Biden and Obama that his own party didn't focus on DACA or immigration reform. People were shocked, but I knew why he said it because the next words in his mouth was, it's because our party are choosing the same people over and over. It's about money-hungry policy.
He said that?
Not about people policy. Yeah, he literally said that.
Huh?
I was surprised. But because he ended up saying, if you elect me again, I will go there and fight for DACA and immigration policy.
Interesting.
Even Nancy Pelosi's come out. No, it was Clinton. Hillary Clinton has come out and said that the Biden administration wasn't doing the right thing, but Trump went too far to clean up. But it's not negative like that. But yeah, the Democrat Party's coming out now and acknowledging that that they let it go too bad, but they still think they need immigration reform bills because Trump goes too far. So they basically want open borders again, but not as open, maybe.
Correct.
Yeah.
So from that, I asked a question. I was like, so I have a question, Mr. Senator. Yeah. Regards to the lady I talked to, her name is Emmy. She was talking about DACA. She's talking about immigration reform. It sounds like, you just mentioned your party. Now, is your party willing to work with a bipartisan where has there been Republicans willing to step up on immigration reform policy?
What reform is necessary? But that's a great question.
Yeah. And he said, yes, but my party doesn't want to work with the opposition.
Well, he said yes and no in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do, but we won't.
Exactly. So that was basically the end of the response that he had for me.
Yeah.
Quick and easy. But there were other questions talking about, he loved to mention his military service and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's where it triggered where he finally talked negative about Trump and the Republican Party. He never mentioned Trump as a name. He mentioned as the current administration.
Right.
Sending 2,000 people to Minneapolis.
Oh yeah.
With AR-15. That's where he said, as a military, we don't do that. We do that overseas, not in.
They do that every day.
Correct.
When we called the border patrol, the border patrol needed help. The people came in with AR-15s because that's their weapon of choice.
That is correct. So that was the whole time that he actually heard actually a direct shot was that about the administration and Trump, and that our administration won't be currently worrying about DACA or immigration reform currently.
He's he ran a campaign sounding like Ronald Reagan. He gets in and votes like Nancy Pelosi.
Correct. So this is where I noticed, obviously we know in the more woke areas like metropolitan Phoenix, Tucson, where his real base is, he's going to get woke as hell.
Yeah.
But here in the county, he wanted to see if it's the same people that he has before and what type of grassroots do they have. Right now, I can tell you, I'm learning a lot because it's not the same fascist people that we had before that we were dealing with, me and David Ladder. It's a new generation of kids, and I don't want to say kids, but 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that are breaking in, especially the new sheriff for LB23. A gentleman, I want to say about 31, 32. And he's from Yuma, but he shares the whole LD23 county. That goes all the way to Pima, which is amazing because now Yuma is, depending party-wise, has the power and the movement. And right now they have 2 local Democratic candidates. They have one in Tucson, which is actually the tribe. It's the first time there's ever been a candidate for the Tohono.
Oh,
voting.
good. Oh.
And then obviously the current elected seat in Phoenix. So it's going to be a nice little battle for them uphill.
So
The Republicans work together so we can take away this, because it is midterms. We have to start hitting the Republicans, independent, and pull off these soft Democrats to make sure that the midterm is not how it goes.
well, that's my question. Trump pulled in a lot of people, pulled in a lot of different nationalities. I mean, he increased in every category, every nationality, culture.
Latino.
Exactly. Do you think that is lasting? Are they disappointed, or are they embracing still the Trump movement?
Well, during this past 6 months that I've been kind of quiet, but I've been active, I
Mhm.
can tell you a lot of people are mad. A
About
lot of people, the ICE and how it's going,
Okay.
but at the same time, they voted for that. Do you agree? They just didn't expect that they were going to have emotional response from these videos and memes, right? But
ICE
they're
hasn't
hoping,
ICE hasn't changed. It's the same. It was the same under
Correct.
Obama. It was the same everywhere.
correct.
It's just that
They just be more
the image is
forecasted, now. The images, now that there's availability of
because
social media, TikTok.
it's Trump's order instead of Obama's order, so now it's bad.
Correct.
I,
But
I
they say that
Yeah.
the past 6 months or more, that the group called RAZE, RAZE, which is nothing but high school and college paid students, advocates who are out there and get people registered.
uh
They're the ones passing out the information, updating them what the Democrats have been doing in a positive way, spin it, and the negative way versus the Republicans and the current administration.
wow. Well,
So they're being very active, but very quiet.
Lot of-
Using-
a lot of Chinese
Football,
money
too.
out there doing that stuff.
That's correct, and more, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people wouldn't go to that. To me, as a Republican, it's good. We call, we complain, we put social media, we email, but no, that senator's never going to see your face. You're not even going to get your message or email. So I went in person. I can see him right face to face. I even told him, "Hey, I'm a Republican. We're not going to agree, but I want to hear what you got."
And that's
And they
fair.
said, "Okay,"
That's good.
and that's fair.
And I got to give him kudos for that, for standing up to it, not running away
Yeah,
from it.
not run away.
Yeah. I mean, quite often, I've had them run away.
Mhm. How was the turnout? Were there a lot of people there?
To be honest, I want to say there's about 120 chairs. And out of those 120 chairs, about 40 of them was for the Gadsden Ariachi band, and then 5 of them were for the Gadsden for court dance. So they're the ones that performed to open up the ceremony.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, they just filled it in at the end with a lot of people from Chicanos por la Causa
Oh,
that you could tell weren't from Yuma. These are people from out of town.
so they had to bust people in to fill up the chairs.
Correct. The only elected officials there, that's why we were invited in the back before anything ever started,
Yeah.
was just Vice Mayor San Luis, Vice Mayor Somerton, because they're all going for re-election, the city council member from Yuma, the redhead woman,
Yeah. Yeah.
Carol.
and then there was another gentleman, which is the Democratic Party, ex-Judge Guerrero,
Oh.
and then me.
Yeah. So it wasn't a packed house, but that's not a bad deal
No,
to go
it was not.
to San Luis.
Now there
you know.
was a few ex-Republicans that were donors giving to the Democratic Party there
Oh,
from the higher ups from Yuma,
I mean, like
and then
you
that's
got,
really about it. There was
you
no
got
one-
you got names?
No, I mean I got names that I just don't.
All right, well, we'll talk later.
To out 'em.
All right.
It's not my job to out them over it publicly,
Yeah.
but there wasn't. As of the normal faces that you see in San Luis,
Yeah.
they were not there.
And I would have gone. I wouldn't have hesitated to go. I wouldn't have given money.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Yeah,
good. It's good that you went. I think it's great.
Yeah, well, that's how I found out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not exact dates, but it'll be within 2 to 3 weeks. Senator Mark Kelly's coming here too to do the same thing.
Do you talk about the government shutdown and all? It's going to keep the government shutdown going because of ICE. Well, it doesn't stop ICE. ICE is already funded.
Yeah, he talked about ICE, but he said the way, don't look at us, Democrats are not doing bad. We're not funding ICE. We're just not funding the section that's going against the people. He said ICE is still there. They have X amount of millions, billions of dollars, and you see what they're doing with that money. They're buying, warehouses for housing, and that's how he spent it. He just give them a little quick, and then that's it.
A lot of it's
people
not true.
And we are uneducated, ignorant. He thinks, unfortunately, we are very educated.
But
you know what's going on.
ICE is in every state. And they're out there doing a lot of work. Right. And we've had ICE agents from FEMA up in West Virginia for 10 weeks to do some big stings and all that. You only hear about one Minneapolis. You can't blame it on ICE because ICE is in every state. You only hear it in one. You hear it about Minneapolis. That's it.
Yeah. Like, let's see, about a week ago, give or take the issue, I went to the Yuma sector, donated 50 chicken filet.
Uh-huh.
John and Dana were blessing. They came and dropped it off with me. This Saturday, I went to Wilton with a friend to drop off as well, chicken filet, and then me and my son drove all the way to El Centro, got in and out, and dropped it off at El Centro sector.
What are you getting all these birds, man?
You're blessed.
Are you growing chickens now?
No, eat more chicken. No, because we can only do so much we can to say thank you.
Yeah.
In Phoenix, I got a couple groups writing thank you cards and taking it directly to the ICE sector, the processing. So, we can do our own on social media and post and some stuff like that, but there's nothing direct than inviting someone for food after the government shutdown.
Yeah, it's only hurting a few people. TSA, Secret Service. What else is there?
FEMA.
Correct.
FEMA. Yeah, we don't like FEMA anyway.
Huh? And Yuma County is a very close-knit group, regardless of the party. Yeah. We take care of our own here. We're close, and that's what's about.
We should, and I know ICE agents, and they're part of our community. And this high school walkout thing, their kids were in those rooms.
Correct.
Saying we're going to go out and scream about ICE being hateful. I mean, it's just so misguided, and it's organized by evil factions. It's not. The kids wouldn't have done it on a Saturday, Gary. If it was Saturday morning, they say Saturday morning we're doing an ICE, no one would have come. They only did it because it's a big deal. We get to skip school. Hey, what was the reason again? Yeah, they don't care.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of stuff that normally a lot of people don't want to do because you need to understand what your opposition is doing. They can't do the same thing over and over. They are changing the matrix. And this is how me and David were able to catch these people in 2020 with ballot harvesting. If I was just like a regular general Republican that said, I don't want to talk to the Democrats, or I don't want to know what the Democrats are doing, that is a wrong. Otherwise, me and David wouldn't be able to catch these ballot harvesters on voting day, and was able to, create the law at SCOTUS for Arizona for ballot harvesters is illegal. So we like to know what the Democrats are doing and who the new players are.
Well, I hope we find out. I hope more of them are caught, and I hope we pass the SAVE Act that clamps down on some of this. No driver's license. No, we don't have that problem in Arizona, but a lot of places do, and it just gets to where you can't trust the integrity of the voters.
Correct. Well, I have trust in David Latta right now being the county recorder, even though he's not in charge of elections, but. I trust him being where he's at, trying to record, especially for the housing and the deeds and stuff like that. But with time, they'll come with the Save the Act. That's going to be very important, and I'm sure they're going to ask David for some help because that's a big beast right there.
I trust him also, but I think we're the only two. I think that's
it. I could be jaded because he's a committeeman with me here in our
David's awesome.
Appreciate the call, Gary. Thank you.
I appreciate it. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Gary Snyder. I didn't recognize the voice, but I thought I thought it was him. I had to look up the phone number, make sure before I said. I wasn't sure it didn't identify himself. I didn't even know Gary was down.
Yeah, I saw that he was coming.
I really don't like him.
I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan because his campaign, he just lied about who he was, and I know there's a lot of people think, well, all politicians do that. That's no big deal. Well, it is to me. And this whole bit about Well, you can't close the border because we need, immigration reform. We need immigration reform, or border patrol reform, and it's not it's not true. It's all a lie. And Trump not only said it but proved it. And they still say we need it. Comprehensive immigration.
Yeah.
For what reason? Tell me one.
It's always already laws on the books.
Exactly. Just enforce them.
Enforce the ones that we have.
The immigration reform that they wanted to pass would have guaranteed a certain number every day gets through.
Right.
And it was just a stupid thing. And Mayorkas up there saying that borders are secure and closed and all that stuff.
Well,
I get like looking around saying, "Did you guys not all see this?
Yeah.
That this is just a bunch of nonsense and lies." And Gallego is one of the worst. And I forget exactly what the subject matter was. I think it was like had something to do with immigration and Trump, and I don't remember the exact question. But somebody mentioned, well, that's exactly what Obama did, and he says, "I don't care."
Still needs to be fixed.
Trump's doing it. I don't care. I'll be right back.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Garner and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan your estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
Good heart care starts with a team of experts beside you. This Heart Month and all year long, the team at Onvita Health guides you with clarity and confidence. From heart disease prevention and early detection to treatment and recovery, we're with you so you feel informed, supported, and confident. Here's to care that never skips a beat. Here's to life. Learn more about heart care and where to start at onvitahealth.org/heart.
March 6th through the 8th, it's the 33rd annual Midnight at the Oasis. An entire weekend of food, entertainment, and hundreds of classic cars and trucks. Now's the time to get your weekend passport tickets. These will get you into all of the events all weekend long. Go to our website to buy yours today. Midnight at the Oasis, March 6th through the 8th.
All right, do-it-yourselfer, you've got the idea, and you've got your building supply at Southwest Lumber. That's right. Now, all you need is a bunch of expensive tools to get the job done. Oh, that's right. And just the place to rent them. Southwest Lumber, your home for everything home improvement. Southwest Lumber has half-day to multiple-day rentals available on just about anything you need to finish the job. Rent equipment and tools on Saturday and Sunday. It's free. Stop in today at 1917 South Avenue B in Yuma. Southwest Lumber, ready for everything.
For today, mostly sunny, 87, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds out of the north. Clear 54 tonight. Partly cloudy, light winds 90 tomorrow. Clear and 61 tomorrow night.
Truckmates, Yuma's Fix Up Your Pickup Truck Store is Yuma's home for snug top shells and lids. Snug top, designed and manufactured to the highest standard. Industry-leading quality and trend-setting design to protect and complement your vehicle. That's Snug Top. Truckmates is also the home of Expert Spray and Bed Liners, spraying mil-spec protective coatings, committed to unwavering excellence and unparalleled customer service. Expert Liners, with available national warranty coverage and installed by Yuma's most experienced spray-on team at Truckmates. Truckmates is also the home for BDS suspensions, the highest quality aftermarket suspension lift kits, leveling kits, and accessories for 4x4 off-road trucks and Jeep enthusiasts. And don't forget 3M window tinting, the originators of window tinting with nationwide lifetime warranty at Truckmates. That's Expert Spray and Bed Liners, BDS suspensions, 3M window tinting, and Snug Top, all at Truckmates, 32nd Street, next to Lowe's.
A Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale returns to the Yuma Fairgrounds with monster savings and a massive selection.
Explore millions of dollars of new and used inventory with aggressive roadshow clearance prices.
Shop and save on everything from affordable towables to luxury Class A diesel pushers.
This is one of the world's largest traveling RV sales, so get here early to score the best deals.
Whatever you do, don't miss the Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale.
Thursday through Sunday at the Yuma County Fairgrounds.
Presented by RV Country.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm 560. You rough start with the deals here.
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Couple things fact checker sent me. I want to get out. He talks about California. California has a weird voting arrangement, which they arrange and put in place in order to completely ignore the Republicans being a push them out.
Conservative movement. Yeah.
Conservative movement. So in the primary in California, the top vote getters are the ones that go into the final. They mix them up, Republican and Democrat. So if you have 3 or 4 Republican or Democrats are all the top 4, no Republican gets on the ticket. It's not like now we have a primary. You put you pit the Democrat against the Republican. Not in California. If there's only going to be two in the general election, they could both be Democrats.
Oh wow.
But they're running into a problem right now with that law. With that law, the way it sets currently, the ones running for governor, 2 of the top vote getters are Republican because there's so many Democrats in the lineup.
Nobody's
they
Cipher.
water it down.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. So in order to combat that, the consultants are trying to get all the others to drop out. Who knows how much? Who knows what they're offering? And that's not unusual.
No.
It's that's done at times to ask people to drop out and say, look, it's not your time. Why don't you do this? I'll put you on my campaign, or I'll give you a consulting job or something, and then you can be ready next time. I don't know. They do that. Democrats do it. Republicans
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at. They want everyone drop out except the ones they know they're going to get the top of the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people run just to get attention, to get experience, to get opportunity, and maybe something happens and all that. So they want to take all that away, and then of course it's up to the individual. They can say, "No, I'm going to do whatever I want," and then they just probably alienate the main party, which is not going to give them support. Sure. So it's a balancing act. It's a tough one. Man, Donnie, right now, I mean, he is just horrible for us in every way. I mean, he's a communist, socialist type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he's got snow right
now. A lot of it.
A lot of it. So he wants, and we're talking like 20 inches in parts of New York. And right now, the travel is shut down in New York City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's closing the streets except for non-essential.
It's probably good. I mean, they don't have the snow removal with all stuff they need for some reason. I don't know what with their infrastructure, but this is their first blizzard since 2017, and this is a blizzard that's extreme, 50, 60 mile an hour winds, snow up to 20 inches out there, and all that stuff.
His second snow emergency.
Yeah,
first one he didn't do well.
Well, he's been in office a couple of weeks, so what he's done is he realizes that he needs more volunteers to shovel snow. So he's going to get these volunteers, and he's going to pay $19 an hour. But he's going to limit it to only those that have 2 forms of ID.
2 forms of ID. Go figure. You don't need ID to vote, but you do need 2 forms to shovel snow.
Why? and they know. I mean, it's well known that the Democrats are like, you don't need an ID to vote. You don't need an ID. You need an ID to vote. You need a snow shovel? ID.
ID. Two forms.
Yeah. What the heck is he trying to do? Is he trying to look hypocritically? But they've done this forever. The Democrats, anything you do like at a Democrat convention or whatever, you need certification, IDs, and all that in order to get conventions, to get anything. And then they get up there and say, well, black people are too stupid to have an ID. They don't say it in those terms, but that's the influence. And they've gotten away from that. But now they're saying it's pregnant. Or no, married women. Now it's married women because they have their names changed. They can't find their birth certificates. I didn't know married women had a problem finding the birth certificate.
Yeah.
And not only that, everybody's going to take your ID with you. Just take your marriage license or whatever. It's never a problem. I mean, they're creating problems that don't exist or whatever. As Republicans, I think what we ought to do is try to pass bills where anybody that has an issue, show an issue of not being able to get an ID, we help put up some kind of volunteers to help them get an ID. I don't think anybody exists that can't get an ID, but we should put that office together and see if anybody
Sure.
calls and say, we're going to help everybody that needs an ID to vote to get that. Call us, and we've got troubleshooters to try to figure it out with you.
I like that.
Yeah. And we should make that nationwide and just say, look, Republicans will help you. We don't care what your party is. If you need an ID to vote and you're having troubles, call our specialist, and we'll get on it. What is there? Like 5 people in the United States? I mean, who doesn't have an ID?
Yeah.
You know,
you need an ID for everything.
Well, yeah. And if there's a guy on the street that say we'll work, for food or something, you go give him $10. He runs to the package store and buys a 5th of Jack Daniels because he's got an ID.
He's got an ID.
Yeah, he may be desolate, and he has to beg for money to buy his Jack Daniels, but he's got an ID. He's not without that. I think everybody has an ID, and homeless people have an ID. Generally.
Yeah.
I found a guy in my trash can once, looking for cans. He showed me his ID. I had him do some work around the place to help him out.
Yeah.
I helped him out.
Cool.
And he showed me his ID. I said, wow, that's amazing. But man, Donnie is starting off so bad. I mean, he's getting people to come protest him now. The protesters that helped put him in.
Yeah.
I
I wouldn't be surprised if they try and recall him.
Doesn't matter. It won't happen. They rig all that stuff. That's my opinion. I don't know if I have proof of that. The one of the latest things is, he offered so much, like free transportation, free childcare, which you can't do.
Right.
So he says, but I need more money. He wants more money than most states. He needs $127 billion for his budget. What is Arizona? What, like 23 billion or something? So Pennsylvania is like half of that. Florida is less than that. But he wants it just for New York City. Well, it's 8 million people. I mean, it's not small. He's got, just a little more people, a few more people than the state of Arizona, but he needs 127. Cost of living.
Yeah.
So to get that, he wants to tax the rich. That's his whole mantra. It has when he rich people should not be able to keep their money because the money's limited, and we need to take it from them because they got more than their fair share, which is such a ridiculous concept. And in capitalism, it doesn't work.
Right.
When somebody creates wealth, they create literally wealth. It is wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't take it from somebody. That's a Democrat that does that. You can be an entrepreneur and make something and create wealth. Otherwise, we'd have no more money in circulation than we did in 1776, and we'd all be fighting over $5. But wealth is created every day, and the problem is we don't create enough of it. We need more billionaires because billionaires only keep a portion of the billions they create. And I've heard it's as little as 4%, is what they get, but they make billions. But they make much more for everybody else. And Democrats want to kill the billionaires financially. I don't mean physically.
Right.
Wants to kill them. We shouldn't have billionaires. It's too greedy. And they're creating wealth, dude.
Yeah, they're providing jobs. They're
right.
Contributing to the economy. They're making the economy work.
But
right?
it's not about, well, they've got all the money. No, money's created. They created the wealth. And they share it already because they only get a small fraction of what they really do to taxes, having to hire people to do stuff and all that kind of stuff. I mean, when you sell an iPhone and you take in trillions and trillions of dollars, sure, the guy that owns $1 billion. But it's a small fraction of what everyone else is and all that. But Mandani wants to kill him, but he can't do that alone. He's got to go through the state. The state's got to do it. So he threatened the governor.
Yeah.
And he said, look, governor, you either do what I want and tax the rich more so they pay their fair share, which means they get nothing. I even heard analogies. Like, why does somebody need $1 billion? Would they be happy with $100 million? That just seems like a lot of money. Don't need them. It's not for you to decide. It's just not. You don't need to stop that because they would go to Abu Dhabi and be a billionaire.
Sure.
And then we'd lose them all. And then we'd say, well, where'd all the wealth go? They took it with them. No, they took away, they will take their innovativeness, they will take their businesses, and they'll take all that sharing with them. But they're creating it. You don't realize it's a printer machine they've got. They just create wealth. And then we hate them for it because you didn't share it with me. And so he said if she doesn't do that, if she doesn't do the tax that he wants, he has no choice.
Raise property tax.
I have to. It's no choice. I have to raise it 10% or something. And the people that are going to pay the top property tax are the ones that put him in. It says, I'm giving you free stuff. Oh, after I raise your rent.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're already looking at it like, wait a minute, this isn't working out as planned. And now we got to pay people, to shovel snow for $19 an hour. We give them the snow shovel. They shovel it for $19 an hour, but you got to be a U.S. citizen because otherwise you wouldn't have an ID. That way we'd be a sanctuary city and just give money to the illegal.
Oh, and by the way, you're going to
have
get
to
taxed. You're going to get taxed on that $19.
They don't have to. Yeah, we won't. Yeah, they will. We're going to tax them on everything. I think the whole thing's a disaster.
It is.
But it's even looking
Well,
bad.
the concept doesn't even.
Which is fortuitous. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
It's great that it looks like it is and that people are noticing. Because sometimes I just wonder, why don't people look around? They get caught up in the emotion of it and all that stuff, and they don't look like guys. Communist works nowhere in the world. Why would it work here? Well, we're going to do it better. And capitalism seems to work like gangbusters everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. But yeah, it creates billionaires because some guys are really, really, really good at it. And that's where the jealousy comes in. Like, I don't want to work 7 days a week, but I want to have that billion. So it's not fair to keep it from me. And
I want some of yours.
I want some of yours. You got to give us, which we're already getting some of that. When billionaires do things, that wealth is already spread out. I mean, they're being taxed. It's going into public services. It's going into a lot of things. But then these Democrats, it's like, well, it's not enough. It's not enough. We need to tax more. You're not even screaming yet. Well, they're screaming now in California. They're leaving. They're screaming in New York because they're leaving. They're screaming in Illinois. They're leaving. And they're not even getting U-Hauls because they don't need to do it themselves. They'll hire people. They're loading up tractor trailers and jets and going and getting the heck out of there. And the more they do it, the more the Democrats double down. I got to take a break. We'll be back. It's top of the hour, AM 560 KBLU.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust. Ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 50 years of service, keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. Hamburger, refrigeration, and electric. Hamburger, count on us.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say micro, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, micro, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63, out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, my wife, and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. There's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
There's a man in D.C. He's standing for 3.
He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He'll bring that on, just like he said. He'll make America great again. So get on that train, ride out with him. We'll stand up for you and the red, white, and blue. Yeah, get on that train.
This is News Talk 60 ABLU. Yuma.
A lot of the Northeast is shut down by a blizzard. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The snow comes down hard, tide waves. A lot of cities with this. We had about 60 inches of snow about a week ago. It's not that much, but a lot just piled. So we're going to be out of places to put people with the storm. Around your friends, because he's in New Jersey, will measure the snow and feet. And there are hurricane force wind gusts. Fox Weather Lights at the Idell is on the Long Island. Right now, Montauk, our winds are gusting up to 60 miles an hour. I've measured about 18 inches of snow. Nearby Iceland is at just under 2 feet. Officially, by the way, in Central Park, 7 a.m. Eastern, they've had one, their biggest snowfall since 2017, but they'll likely prove that because we got more snow to come. All that heavy snow, strong wind knocking out power across the Northeast. More than 500,000 power outages in Massachusetts and New Jersey. And there are a lot of planes on the ground. 5,000 flights canceled today, more than 1,300 cancellations already tomorrow. The storm forced the Team USA men's hockey team to divert their return from the Winter Olympics in Italy through Miami after they won gold in Canada 2-1 overtime. Jim Hughes scored the winner.
Anything can happen. Anything. Very skilled players. We have very skilled players. It's just up here in the rink.
President Trump called the team after the win, inviting them to tomorrow's State of the Union address. So it's not clear how many can go, but the NHL season resuming this week. This morning, President Bush got Truth Socialist swipe at the Supreme Court, striking down most of his tariffs Friday. He has since imposed a 15% global tariff on imports and wrote in the Post they accidentally gave him far more power and strength than he had prior to do terrible things to foreign countries who off. Pennsylvania Governor John Shapiro, a Democrat, tells ABC this week,
President acting outside his legal authority. By the way, not a new thing for him. As someone who's had to take him to court 19 times as governor.
America's listening to Fox News.
That's business affirmation. I'm progressive. Today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance affiliates, #1 commercial auto insurer. NAIC's 2024 national premium data.
Sleep and relaxation just got smarter. The Z-Cliner by Steel combines comfort, durable design, featuring custom adjustments like headrest, lumbar, heat, and massage, helping you unwind the right way. Whether you're watching TV or taking a well-earned break, Z-Cliner is built for you. Comfort, customization, and steel quality all in one chair. Visit zcliner.com to find a retailer near you.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Martin Ryan. Exceptional Community Hospital of Yuma hosted the second annual health fair. The event took place at ECH Yuma at 10 a.m. and was an honor for Health Month. During the event, there were free blood pressure screening, a live healthy cooking demo, and a live yoga/exercise demo. Locals across Yuma County also hit the list for the Yuma Child Burn Survivors Golf Tournament. The golf tournament 2026 took place at Desert Hills Golf Course at 7 a.m., all for a good cause for the weekend. During the event, there was a memorial dedicated to firefighters who lost their lives on 9/11. There's a total of 212 people who participated in the event, with 2017 playing in the morning and 2016 playing in the afternoon. Catch us on the TV side of News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 for your latest local news
Get up, get kids up, feed the kids, out the door, work, pick up dinner, bath, bed, repeat. You strive all day to make life better for them, so why not make life better for you? Get strive-free checking at Avenue Financial. No frills, no fun, no monthly fee. Open a strive-free checking today at avenuefinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
There's a man in D.C. He's 6'3". He's fighting for me.
Damn, 560 KBL. You, Russ Clark with you, and Bill's here.
Hey, good morning.
Bill Reaganhart, chairman of the Republican Party, and all that kind of stuff. You're doing that. I told you that the Democrats they're a little scared about what's going on in California for the governor race because you got two Republicans that are real strong and are to the top of the percentages, and then you got a whole slew of Democrats that are so watered down, nobody's competing with Republicans. And the reason they changed their voting rules was to keep the Republicans off the tickets altogether.
Right.
Because Democrats are 60-70% of the state, so they figure, heck, we're going to have just Democrats at the top of every ticket. We don't even have to worry about a Republican even taking one of our jobs. Well, right now they're paying because it looks like it's going to be a Democrat governor unless they do something. So they're getting people to back down. So you can only get the strongest Democrats. So Democrats are going to handpick the Democrats that they want on the ticket so that they can smoke the Republicans and not have any chance at all.
Yeah.
Which that's the way California is.
That's the way they are.
Now, also the 2026 state convention, they're not going to officially endorse a gubernatorial candidate in the primary election, but it's behind closed doors it'll be endorsed. And Edward gave me a recap of the Democrat 2026 platform that agreed for in California. This is what the Democrats Party agreed for. So I guess it doesn't matter who wins. This is your platform. And that's okay for a party to put a platform out.
Yeah.
America is stolen land and we can't have borders. If we don't have borders, everyone is allowed to come here. If everyone is here, they're allowed to access taxpayer-funded services. Now, I'm getting the impression Edward made these up based on what's really happening versus actually putting this in writing. Because we shouldn't have borders, we shouldn't enforce immigration laws. America must be subject to tariffs but cannot impose tariffs. Muslims can take over. It sounds like the Bee wrote this. Muslims can take over public spaces to pray, but conservative groups cannot have high school or college clubs. You aren't smart enough to homeschool your kids, so you must send them to a public school where they won't learn to read, do arithmetic, or think critically. The Department of Education is sacred. But kids will be taken outside to protest and shown sexually explicit materials. Biological males can be women. Women are a protected class and need special treatment, including trans women. We should really think about that.
Wow.
I mean, I need protection. You're not paying enough taxes. Where does he get this stuff? This is not real. I mean, it's real in reality. I mean, this is the way they work. It's not what they really put in writing. Voting is a constitutional right and should have no requirements. Gun ownership is a constitutional right that should be abolished, but until then, should be highly restrictive and limited. Women are smarter than men, and that's why so many of them get more college degrees than men. They do get more than men, but men tend to be the CEOs and all this stuff. Women are incapable of obtaining a valid ID to vote. That's what's going on right now.
Wow. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, because they get married and they say, I don't know what to do now. I can't get a birth certificate. Most of them were born, though. Law enforcement officers are going to be held accountable for enforcing the law. Former military officers cannot be held accountable for violating the rules. Going after political opponents, even if they broke the law, is illegal. Well, except if it's Trump, isn't it? As soon as Democrats are in power, they will go after the political opponents. Using laws to prosecute ICE protesters is wrong. Using laws to prosecute pro-life nuns is correct. Uncovering fraud in NGOs, government agencies, welfare is wrong. Wealth tax for the rich. There shouldn't be billionaires. Owning 4 homes doesn't mean someone is rich. Republicans are racist. It's okay to say racist things to black and brown Republicans in law enforcement. The Trump administration is covering up for pedophiles. They do say that about the Epstein thing.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying his name's in it. His name's in it. Yeah, his name is in it because Epstein hated him. So he would write stuff. His name's not in it because he was a frequent visitor like Clinton. The Biden administration couldn't do anything with the Epstein files. We shouldn't spend any money on detention centers for ICE. We should spend more money on government programs without fixing the fraud. Abolish ICE, abolish the police. Criminals aren't bad, just misunderstood. Unless we're white, right, or Christian, trans people are the real victims of trans killing people. We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Trans are killing people. But that doesn't get really highlighted. In fact, a lot of stories don't mention they're trans. But if you're a white Christian, that's the headline.
Yeah.
It's okay to vote not guilty if the defendant agrees with your politics or has your skin color. That's jury instruction. It's okay to release violent criminals back on the streets if they've been arrested multiple times. It's okay to hit law enforcement with your vehicle as long as you say, I'm not mad at you. That really did happen. Understand that Jesus said, love everybody. Welcome the stranger, but ignore everything else Jesus in the Bible said. Wow.
That's their platform.
I don't know if that means Edward was up all night writing or if he stole that. You know, it sounds like the Babylon Bee, doesn't it? That's the California bylaws for the state. I mean, all of it makes sense actually, because that's
a lot of it is what they're saying. Yeah,
exactly what's going on.
Yep.
They're just not framing it like that. You know, they're not supposed to put it in writing, are you? Don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
Edward said it out loud. How terrible, Tim. He must be a racist. Tourists are trapped in Puerto Vallarta. Have you been watching that stuff?
They took out one of the cartel leaders, and now everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
Puerto Vallarta is in Mexico, and that's a country, Bill.
Yeah,
just let you know.
I heard.
You heard. Yeah, they killed El Mencho. He's a known cartel leader, and he was killed by the government apparently with the assist of some special forces from the United States, which I knew we had some special forces. Remember last week there was something about special forces training in Mexico, and I thought, that's odd. What's going on there? Maybe this was part of the training.
Right.
But they were, I guess, helping somehow, maybe logistics or something. I doubt that they were on the front lines, but who knows? Don't know. But after this cartel leader met his retirement, that's a retirement program, isn't it? In the cartels.
Yeah, cartels.
That is the retirement. Yeah, he's retired.
That's your pension, right?
Yeah. It started violent retaliation in the streets and stuff. I mean, burning cars and burning buildings, shooting. I haven't read a death toll or anything. Don't know if there is yet.
Yeah.
Can't imagine there not being. Airlines have canceled flights. Authorities issued shelter-in-place orders. There's stranded visitors all over. They're reporting cars are set ablaze. Suspect cartel members are blocking major roads. Stores being looted, ransacked. Dogs playing with cats. I mean, it's apparently a pretty major scene.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, praise God that the good Lord blessed you to have yourself a good operation. You sound good. You sound normal.
Oh, normal's good. I haven't had that in a while. Thank you, Gilbert. I appreciate you.
Well, you know, I did get a check for $25 to say that.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So the reason I called you, I got three things I want to mention, and it's funny. It's my humor for today.
All right.
You know how I like to get. So they're talking about boycotting Trump's State of the Union speech, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what? You know what? One thing, we don't have to worry about seeing Pelosi tearing up documents. We don't have to see all these people with their frowny, bulldog faces, whining and crying. So it's a good thing.
Well, and it exposes those Democrats for who they are. Vote me into office, and I won't show up to things because I'm an anti whatever is going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
And then what's her name? That crazy lady, the crazy black lady. I hate to say her skin color, but I can't think of her name right now. No. The old lady.
Maxine Waters. And there's so many of them.
She said that I'm not going to be there. He doesn't deserve my respect and doesn't deserve for me being there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. That's one thing I want to say about it. But the Democratic voters themselves, 72% want voter ID. Right?
No, it's 84. Oh, the Democrats, 72. That's probably right. 84 aggregate, everybody, but you're right. 72, right. 71, 72, 73, I've heard a lot.
So that's what the constituents are saying. I want voter ID. Now, their representatives are saying, no, we don't want. So what does it tell you about that party?
That they don't respect their voters. They don't respect them. They think that their constituents are idiots too. And they're the elite.
Yep, exactly. And they're saying that which I don't understand when they go with minorities. There's a lot of white people that don't understand English. There's a lot of black, brown, yellow, but they got this minorities. So they're saying that they're not intelligent enough to get an ID.
Well, yes, but they're really honing in on women now, which I think is fun. You know,
what's really funny is the Democratic Party is telling their constituents they're not smart enough.
Yes, they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. But are the constituents really starting to understand what they're saying? You guys are stupid, and I'm laughing about that.
Yeah,
you know, I'm laughing that the Democratic constituents want voter ID, and these guys are telling, no, you're too stupid to understand. You don't need it.
And it's not just one or two; it's like 100% of everybody in the House, and everybody but Fetterman in the Senate.
I got another one, Russ. Another humor. We should Trump should say when he's asked, should transvestites be able to carry a gun? Should be able to buy a gun? He should say no. They shouldn't have a gun because they have a mental defect.
Yeah.
And let's see what the Democratic Party says. Would they say, "Oh no, they should be able to have guns"?
You know, that should be a serious conversation going on because it's obvious that if you do have mental issues, you know, those rights are suspended. You can't have a firearm that would be a danger to yourself and everyone else. But
what I'm
you're right. I think you're right.
The Republican Party, the Democratic Party say, "Oh, they have the right to carry guns," and in other words, I'm reverse psychology.
That would be fun, though. Yeah, you're right. Make them say, "Oh no, they have a right to the Second Amendment." Yeah, that'd be fun to have them stand up for that right. That'd be good.
That would be good. And my last thing is Jerry Snyder still running against Michelle Pena. I heard him on the radio today.
I didn't ask the question, but I'll tell you, I think he is, and I disagree with it, and I think he's wrong. And I haven't talked to him directly. I've tried to call him a few times. He texts me back that he's busy or something, but I haven't really talked to him. But I'm going to have that conversation.
And I haven't heard anything differently. So
yeah.
Yeah, he was there talking about a Republican staying together and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's running. Let's bring it out there, Russ. Let's bring it out to the forefront. He shouldn't run against Michelle.
Yeah,
he has the American right. He has the American right to do that.
Yeah,
I agree. But he was bloviating about Republicans sticking together.
Yeah, you're right, and I can't blame her. And there's two Republicans running against Michelle. He's not the only one. There's another one.
Right. So they're going to try to split the vote 3 ways so a Democrat can get in.
Well,
From what I understand, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the guys that are running was a former Democrat himself, correct?
Yes, that's
well,
what
so were you, man. You're a former Democrat.
No, he's a former Democrat lately.
Oh, okay.
Lately.
All right.
I've been GOP since Nixon.
Yeah. Well, I have since Reagan, but I think we all have a past of lack of understanding, and then once we get education.
Yeah. So I definitely want, and you know what? I heard about Galea going to be here, and I forgot about it. I would have gone just to be me there.
Yeah.
Well, we do have the governor coming for her State of the State. She'll be speaking at.
Wow, you're gonna have a front row seat there, Bill? You can be right up front.
well, I'm gonna go.
You are?
Yeah,
Well, good for you.
I'll be there, but
take notes for me.
Be in Yuma?
Yeah, she'll be in Yuma.
The governor always comes to Yuma for that.
Oh,
Chamber of Commerce. It's the Chamber of Commerce luncheon.
Yeah.
And what's it going to cost me to get in there?
$100.
$100.
Oh, the hell with it. No.
I can get angry for a lot less money. I guarantee.
Yeah. Hey, all I got to do is get angry with Carter put me down for another honeydew.
Nah, you love it, man. You're going for that.
I am. Well, anyway, that was my humor for today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate the call. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, if I wind up with an extra seat at the table, I'll give Gilbert a call.
Go ahead. Because I don't want it. I don't really want to go to that thing. The Port of Arte. There was a guy down there that, let me see, Eugene. He's down there staying at an Airbnb. He's out of Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh man.
Yeah, he and his wife arrived in Mexico only one day before.
Yeah,
We get to Mexico, have a beautiful room they got a balcony that overlooks the street and stuff. It's a nice Airbnb and all that. But they woke up the next morning because the horns blaring and all that stuff. So they look out the balcony and they see 6 cars completely engulfed in flames right outside the balcony, and they had to evacuate their room.
Yeah,
because one of the vehicles was a fuel tanker that was nearby, and they said should walk away.
Probably
because we saw a Terminator where one of those blew up. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he looked down, saw it was all in flame. It was 6 cars in total, one fuel tanker. Then he watched a neighbor's video showing the men he believed the cartel members forcing people out of their vehicles, then pouring gasoline on the cars and just setting them on fire. And they told people to leave, which I would have accommodated.
Yes. Yeah.
Then they were taking the gas and pouring it on they said everybody was clear before they started setting the fire. So they were nice cartel members. Said, back up. This is very dangerous. This is very dangerous. Put on your mask.
We don't want you to get hurt.
Pharmacies, corner stores completely burned down. Younger crowds broken into nearby buildings to loot beer and cigarettes. See, it's kind of universal. You think that's only in L.A.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
That goes wrong. It goes around the world.
Take advantage of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Public transportation is shut down. Ubers, they're not answering the call.
Well.
Now, see, our Uber driver, Mike, he would answer. Because he's talented enough to drive around the burning cars. Right? He can drive around them. And he said there's definitely not any panic from just nobody here. That's double negative, but from anybody here. I think it's interesting. Almost everybody was just annoyed.
Well, they've seen it before.
But this guy got here like yesterday, and it's just annoying. I know it's not like that in South Carolina normally.
No,
I wouldn't think so. Another lady there was from Miami.
Well, he didn't say he wasn't panicking.
She was from there's Adriana Belli. She's from Miami, and she was down there to spend a week in Mexico, attending a wedding in Guadalajara to celebrate a friend's birthday in Mexico. And then they got all this entertainment going on because no one's panicking. I think I'd be concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
The United States government is asking for people to shelter in place and to hunker down.
Yeah. Now, are they allowing flights out?
It says everything's shut down.
Everything's shut down. Yeah.
At least in that area. I mean, this is not spread through the whole state.
Right.
if you're in Puerto Vallarta, you might want a refund from your Airbnb.
Yeah.
They had to go out and get food. Now, all the food stores are looted or gone. Getting food's a little bit of a problem. And, it's been since breakfast. So I'm starving because it's lunch.
I don't know if I'd be going shopping.
But this guy did. He went out to get a bit of food.
That's silly. Yeah, you
I'm
wouldn't catch
not
me on
getting
the
it.
street.
I'm not getting it. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be getting about food. Somebody in my party says, I'm hungry. I said, so? I'm not going out there.
I'm sorry, but
I'm not doing that. Blizzard warnings. In fact, we touched on that a little bit. New York City, Philadelphia, Boston, 40 million people it's affected. I understand there's like 400,000 without power. I don't see it here. I had a few articles on that. It's on this one. Power outages top 400,000 in blizzard. 50 to 70 mile an hour winds. Those are like hurricane or tropical storm winds. I mean, that's tropical storm stuff. Travel bans involved. If you're going to New York City, you're not going to make it. There's a ban till noon today. Why Bandami has all his non-immigration people
out there
shoveling.
Snow shovels.
Old people shouldn't do that. The heart attacks, it's pretty common. Yeah. You overexert, not used to it. You sit you're retired, you've been sitting in a rocking chair for 2 years, said, I can shovel. No, you don't want to do that. 10,000 flights have been canceled through Tuesday, so they're already doing it. Cancellation rates are over 90%. Power outages, Delaware to Boston. So they're getting really hammered. 20 inches of snow in Islip, New York. I don't even know where Islip is.
They can keep that. That's why I'm a desert rat. I don't do cold.
Of course, you should go out and shovel right now because it's dumping at a rate of 2 to 3 inches per hour. In fact, you can shovel it and then turn around and shovel it again. Yeah, you can just keep on shoveling. It's a nonstop fun. Just keep on doing it, man. That's the hardest. I mean, that's the first blizzard that's been in that area since 2017. Yeah. I lived in Delaware, through high school and college and all that stuff, and we had a blizzard that we couldn't leave the house for 4 or 5 days. That was only once. I lived there. It only happened once, but it was unique.
Did you have power?
Yeah, we had power.
You were one of the lucky ones then.
And we had a little bit of food. that was back, married, no kids, sleeping in. But now I'm a guy that likes to. I mean, I like what I do for a living. I worked in a frozen food warehouse. I didn't know this at the time because we didn't have cell phones and stuff. Nobody called me. But when I left, it's called a place called Burris Foods. It's a frozen food warehouse, and I worked there through college. But when I left that day, because it was snowing, I knew I had to get home. A fire started in the maintenance shack inside the main building there. Now, keep in mind, this building's about 3 football fields long and 4 stories tall.
Wow.
And 2 degrees below zero, the entire building. And it's about 80, 90 feet wide. So very big. Indoor cranes move product. It was a massive operation. Well, the maintenance shack is on the is inside the building, but it's not inside the freezer side. It's inside the dock area, which is only 35 degrees. But then it's got its own heaters in there in the maintenance shop. Well, a fire started in there because that's where they do welding, cutting, they do a lot of things. Well, the brilliant manager on duty said, and he's a volunteer fireman, and he said the fire trucks are on their way to take care of this little blaze, which I would have grabbed a few fire extinguishers. We had a few of them. So he said, open up all the dock doors, and then he threw open the big doors to the maintenance shop. And when that oxygen hit, boom, it just spread throughout the entire. It burned into the freezer side.
Oh man!
And destroyed every bit of food in there was condemned because it burned so much inside the freezer. Caught the pallets on fire in the freezer. And then the firemen did get there, and they go, "Holy crap! The doors are open. Thank you, but man, you." So that place burned down while I was at home in the blizzard. So I didn't know by the time I called and said, "Hey, it looks like I can get out today." So
you didn't have we don't need you.
well, unfortunately, they did because I was management. So I was on salary, and they brought me in for cleanup. One of the worst cleanups.
Wow.
It was horrible. Melted ice cream everywhere. And all kinds of- it was, I mean, everything was smoky, dirty. And then I helped rebuild, welding, cutting, forklifts. I'm a forklift driver, but I mean, like the 4-story cranes, I drove those. We had to put in a new track. We upgraded things. And I was working around the clock.
Wow.
For the same salary I always made, where I didn't work around the clock. Yeah, it was eye opening, and I learned a lot about construction, learned a lot about that kind of stuff. But, yeah, all because Cal, he's the one who opened up the doors. He fanned the flames, literally fanned those flames, man. But we got her back in operation. It took months, getting that all cleaned up. And when I came home after working in that, with melted ice cream everywhere and spoiled food. And a lot of that food, we shipped it overseas. A lot of it we shipped out the back door and shipped overseas. Like the stuff that wasn't in the fire but was condemned.
Right.
Yeah, some other foreign country got all that. I'm sure it wasn't condemned where they were hungry.
Right.
Because it really wasn't damaged. It was all sealed and everything, but it didn't matter. It was condemned. We shipped out. The ice cream was melted. You can't ship that. The other stuff we shipped out quickly. We reversed the conveyor belts, made them run backwards. So at the end of the building, we could get all those trucks in and get that stuff out of there. But probably hundreds of tractor trailers and stuff. I mean, it was just a massive building. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. That was an experience. I did that.
You learn not to open the doors of a fire.
I never would have, man. And I'm not a volunteer fireman. But that guy.
I think he missed that class.
Cal Halls. I never saw eye to eye with Cal. We had disagreements on, strategic planning and stuff. I'll be right back. AM 560.
For today, mostly sunny, 87, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds out of the north. Clear 54 tonight. Partly cloudy, light winds 90 tomorrow. Clear and 61 tomorrow night.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber. All right, do-it-yourselfer, you've got the idea, and you got your building supplies at Southwest Lumber. That's right. Now, all you need is a bunch of expensive tools to get the job done. Oh, that's right. And just the place to rent them. Southwest Lumber, your home for everything home improvement. Southwest Lumber has half-day to multiple-day rentals available on just about anything you need to finish the job. Rent equipment and tools on Saturday and Sunday. It's free. Stop in today at 1917 South Avenue B in Yuma. Southwest Lumber, ready for everything.
There's a man in BC. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark Lee with Bill. Bill. China is a superpower.
Yes, they are.
And I'm got a quiz for you that I don't think you'll know because I did. You can't possibly know. Let me take a phone call first. You're on the air.
Hey.
Good morning. I lost your signal. I can't hear you. Can't hear you at all. But anyway, China's been building their military, and they've been building those strange islands that they build, in the sand.
Right.
It's for to
building the island for a base.
Well, to say now it's territorial waters because I took a reef that was underwater at high tide, and then I pumped a lot of sand and stuff in it, and now it's my territory. So you can't come within 20 miles. Right. It's stupid stuff. Which the world government, whatever that is, the Hague and all that stuff, they say, well, no, we don't recognize it. We don't recognize it. That's an underwater reef. You can't claim it as your territory. Well, China does, and Puerto Rico, Vietnam, and all those guys say, no, you don't. But anyway, that goes on. And there's always little skirmishes of bumping into each other and fire hosing each other and stuff.
Right.
Kind of crazy, but they want to be a superpower with great control. And the China Sea is important to them because 80% of what they get as far as oil and it goes through the China Sea. So they want to control it and monopolize it.
Sure.
Which they have not been able to do, but they're pushing it. Something and we know about the military buildup, and they've been building up, and they've been copying a lot of stuff. I mean, they steal plans from the United States, and then they reverse engineer some stuff, and they build a facsimile that's just doesn't live up to the originals, but they look good, apparently. I did not realize, though, how much they are in the lead on commercial shipping fleets. And because you see the storage containers and the fuel barges and all those kind of, those are massive ships.
Yeah.
And so I would ask you, and here's the quiz, is how many of the commercial fleet vessels do they own, do you think?
Percentage?
No. How many in numbers?
Oh, in numbers.
And I had no idea, and you don't either, but I'm just guessing what and if I had to guess, I would have been totally wrong.
It's got to be in the thousands, I would think.
What are you hedging for some guesses or something? What are you doing here? You can't do that.
I don't know. 2,500.
5,500.
Oh,
2,500 was a high. I would have not gone near that high.
Yeah.
I would have been way off. The United States only owns 100. Now, they've got 5,500 commercial shipping fleets, those great big monstrous ships. They're building hundreds more per year. The United States has 100 total, and we had about 5 a year. We own 0.4% of the world's container ships and shipping ship, commercial. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought we were just big and bad on everything.
Well,
but I guess we've given up that trade, and we've shipped it all overseas. We don't even own them. I mean, it's one thing if we paid them to build it for us. We don't even do that. We just say, you drive it. We don't want to mess with it. And which, if they decided to boycott us and say, we hate America, we will not use another ship to go to America. I guess that would be of national interest. We also don't own any now icebreakers. They have like 25, 30 icebreakers, and they don't even have an interest in the Arctic like we do. And they're not until recent years. They do now. They've decided that we need to get up the game. Russia has a lot more than that. We have like 4 icebreakers, Coast Guard. And we just, or 7, I think 7. I'm pulling off of a previous story, but we're building 4 more right now. That's commissioned. 2 of them, I think it's 4 more or 6. 2 of them are going to be built overseas. I can't remember exactly, like Newfoundland or something, who has experience and understanding. And they're going to teach us to build them, and then we're going to build the rest of them here. We're going to start building them here and bring probably some of them over. And now Trump is pushing, Donald Trump understands it's not a good situation. And he wants to prioritize American shipbuilding. We're going to have a revival.
Yeah.
And he announced that on February 13th, and he wants a comprehensive maritime action plan to help restore America's maritime dominance. I'm sure in our history of our country, we've built a lot of ships.
Oh, yeah.
World War II, shipbuilding was like a big
Liberty ships.
a big pastime, along with aircraft and B-17s and P-51s. I mean, we just were a manufacturing juggernaut that helped win that war. Even given a lot to Russia and stuff, Lend-Lease programs and stuff like that. But now we don't even do it. I can't believe that. I mean, that's just, it saddens me, Bill.
Yeah, they closed all those shipyards and everything, and everything went overseas. And
didn't like the unions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they want to revitalize this stuff. I mean, and President Trump is a builder. I guess that goes into ships too. I mean, he wants to be in control of that, or have our country in control of it for national interest. I mean, nobody can say, well, you don't have any. If you want one, it's going to cost you extra type of stuff, and particularly when it goes into military stuff.
Well, you're
You know.
going to have the workforce to do it too. You're going to need the
Well,
Boilermakers and the welders.
we
and
don't
the
have that.
electricians and yeah.
Well,
That's a specialty.
He says these new programs will all require congressional authorization and resources because they want to create funding mechanisms, new programs, tax incentives under this strategy. And that's why colleagues and I are working to pass the Ships for America Act. It's a bipartisan legislation. That means they've got Fetterman.
Yeah.
Bipartisan. Legislation would make U.S. flagged vessels commercially competitive in international commerce by cutting red tape, rebuilding the shipyards, industrial base, expanding and strengthening mariner and shipyard worker recruitment. Proposal would train a pipeline of new workers, encourage domestic and foreign investment in maritime infrastructure, and provide the permitting reform, deregulation that is essential for timely construction of new shipyards. Good for him. I mean, and it's something we're doing in the chip manufacturing too, which, in Arizona here, we have one of the bigger plants in the world. And they're putting billions more money to build new facilities on the same property.
Yeah.
And
that's huge.
But we don't have the skill sets, and we don't have the people that have the skill sets. We don't have the training for the skill sets. That's why a lot of those people that work there are Taiwan. They're training and working. And I understand under the contracts, there was a certain percentage that was going to be Taiwan. They've exceeded that. And there's some grumbling going on. Like, you're supposed to be hiring people. Like, nobody knows how to do this crap. Yeah. Which that sounds like the same thing here. We say, okay, build a ship. Well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Which I guess it's something that we don't do enough of, that we have a bunch of experience on that kind of stuff. Well, they plan to expand the fleet by 250 vessels by 2035. Of course, it takes some time to get the infrastructure up, to get some stuff going. And they're talking about 250 vehicles. Keep in mind, China right now is 5,500. Maybe we could buy some.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have so many. Could you sell a few or something? I think it makes perfect sense
Oh yeah, absolutely.
to do this. And he wants to open up maritime prosperity zones, much like he did in his first time when he had prosperity zones out there.
Yeah, so
to
that'd
try
be
to
like
help
in the
build some-
Northeast and the Carolinas.
My understanding, it would be coastal.
Yeah. You think? Yeah. It's kind of hard to build a boat in a basement. So it'd be,
There's been
not a whole lot of shipbuilding in Arizona.
There's been people try that. It doesn't always work out. Doesn't always. It's like, oh, nice. What are you going to do with it? Yeah, that's having an incomplete, plan.
Yeah.
I don't have a real plan. Other major news here: the Ayatollah is not backing down from American firepower. He's not threatened.
Yeah,
Neither was Maduro, though. In all fairness,
yeah.
I don't think that he owns all the stupidity in the world. I'll get into what his arsenal is, because he's got an arsenal he's going to lean on in order to destroy our fleets. But let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ. Hey, I was just listening to you about we have a lack of naval bases and such. And you recall who shut down all those bases, don't you?
I do not.
President Clinton.
Oh, Clinton did it?
Yep. Yeah, did it during his tenure there. I don't know how many of them they shut down. I know they shut down Alameda in California, and that was a huge naval base over there. And I did some work over there on some of the hangars, the airplane hangars later on. But yeah, now we got to have the bases, and now they're going to be pouring billions of dollars into, like you say, the infrastructure to get rolling.
We can get billions of dollars just by cleaning up the fraud in Minneapolis.
By cleaning up what?
The fraud out of Minneapolis.
Oh.
Yeah, we can redirect that right into shipbuilding.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't know. You think Tim is going to allow that, though? Or is he going to get busted?
I think he's so involved in tampon distribution that we could probably distract him.
I got a feeling that he wears one.
Maybe,
Yeah, he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to pass that along to you.
Wow. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
No, take it easy.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah. I didn't know Clinton shut down. And those are military bases, I'm sure. This is actually going to be doing commercial. Of course, we're doing some military stuff too with the ice breakers to revitalizing that. That has already started. But the fact that we don't have the skill set to build commercial ships, scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we could build a Boston whaler, and then we could be like Iran, have those little bitty swift things. Yeah, I think that's what they call.
They
them.
are building.
They call them swarming boats. They swarm you. That's our plan. Got a bunch of Boston whalers with some Evinrudes on them, and we're going to take out your aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I know they're building some battleships too. That are in the works. So.
Oh yeah. Admiral Bradley Cooper is in charge of the United States Central Command. Talks about the forces to counter Iran and to carry out strikes. He said, sadly, Iran has taken American lives over the years, and now the regime is desperate. With the airspace laid bare by attacks on integrated air defenses prior to Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran has little ability to defend itself against stealth aircraft. True. I think that's well known. In fact, Iran knows that we know it.
Yep.
And yet, it's ideology though, and it's religious fervor. That God will protect me, and I got a Boston whaler, and I'll take out your stuff. They got more than that. They got ballistic missiles, and there's they used them back in 25. In June of 25, they shipped a bunch of ballistic missiles towards Israel and all that, and a skeleton crew of American soldiers with 2 Patriot missile batteries intercepted Iran's missiles, all of them. We believe this is the largest single Patriot engagement in U.S. military history. That's according to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, in the Pentagon briefing the next day said that. So it was a skeleton crew with 2 missile batteries. The biggest single engagement of Patriots ever in the history of the Patriot system. And they took out them all.
Yeah.
And that was just not much. That was just 2 batteries. Space Force. I don't know how they came into the picture, but it says that once again, be on alert. Of course, they detect everything that goes into space. That's their job, to see what's going on there. When you start talking ballistic missiles, they go high enough to have Space Force says, you in my territory. We'll get that. But they're looking already because the Ayatollah has already said, he said threats to the U.S. He said, Americans constantly say that they've sent a warship towards Iran. Of course, a warship is a dangerous piece of military hardware. However, more dangerous than the warship is the weapon that can send that warship to the bottom of the sea. It's a mean guy. I mean, he's a religious guy. Yeah, he's religious. They got drones, and we know about the drones. I mean, they've done a lot of drone work in Russia. Yeah, they got those Shahed drones. And but apparently F-35Cs are very good with those because they're not very fast. I mean, those are like Cessna fast. They're not coming real fast. And F-35s from the Abraham Lincoln shot down some Iran Shred drones on February 3rd. It's a Shahed 139 surveillance drones, which also carries glide bombs. We've seen a lot of them in Iran. I mean, Russia, Ukraine type deal. Russia now has ability to manufacture hundreds of thousands of them, and they send them to Ukraine every day. They're always going. I saw one once. I mean, I can't remember. I think I was in D.C. at a different meeting or something. They had one on display.
How big are they?
Oh, man. The wingspan on those aren't 20 feet, 15, 20 feet. They're not big. But the F-35, I guess there's a squadron called the Black Knights, Marine Fighter Aircraft Squadron, VMFA 314. Is that stationed in Yuma? I don't know. The Black Knights might be. I don't know. I'm not. But they've got this sensitivity, long range, and all that. But the Ford's going down there too. The Abraham Lincoln is an aircraft carrier. It's down there. It's got the F-35s on it. The Ford's going. It doesn't have any F-35s because they didn't build it to handle F-35s. The F-35s have a single engine that's apparently rather hot, and it needs a special upgraded type wall that they put up to protect,
Oh.
and it would burn that one up.
This is
It would
not
burn
good.
up, it would burn up the wall that they currently have. So they need a retrofit if they're ever going to carry
Right. F-35.
F-35s. They don't currently. Can you imagine that? The most expensive, the biggest, baddest ever built, the newest, the most high tech. Yeah, I can't do an F-35. Go away. They didn't even look into it, I guess. You know, you think when they build that thing, they would, well, we're building them. What's our newest plane? F-35? We don't need that. What are the older ones like? I guess. I don't know who makes those decisions. But I mean, we got it handled. I mean, they got the F-15s and stuff. You know, they'll be fine. And that's the one that was involved with Maduro too. The Ford was down there, and those F-15s do a lot of jamming and stuff too. And they make everything invisible; nobody can see. Swarming boats are a big one. That's the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps. They put swarms of boats to overwhelm.
Swarmy boats?
Swarming.
Kind of sounds like a stripper name, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Swarmy boats.
Swarming
Coming up
boats. Yeah. It says you don't have enough bullets to kill us all. You know, I would take that bet. I bet we do. It doesn't sound like a good plan. They also have cruise missiles, and it could be any type of armament on them. They used them a lot with the Houthis. The Houthis had a lot of them, which they've armed the Houthis with cruise missiles, and they shot a bunch of them at the destroyer USS Gravely, which didn't really have a problem with them.
Yeah.
They said, I mean, those are faster. The cruise missiles are coming in pretty hot, but apparently there have been plans. They didn't plan for an F-35 on the Ford, but apparently they got other stuff they can do. They can do that. So I was reading and seeing a lot of noise about preparation for the possibility of striking Iran. Now, the tankers that carry fuel for aircraft mid-air refueling, like for the F-22s, F-15s, all that stuff, and the B-2 bombers, there's been the largest deployment ever of those tankers. They're already gone, already taken off. I mean, you see a lot of maps of everything is flying in the United States. You can get that publicly and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then all the fighter aircraft and everything. Apparently, we have just filled the skies.
There's a lot of hardware in that area.
The most ever, even counting World War II and everything, the most ever as far as numbers of planes that have been shipped to the area. Now, this may be a saber rattling, like don't you dare, because look what I've got. But maybe they're not paying attention. I mean, we don't want. I don't. For me personally, I hope they just say we give up and let's have peace. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
Something tells me though they didn't ship all that over there just to scare them. There's going to be a trigger mechanism. I think Trump gave them said 10 days, but that means 5. I think.
Yeah, their ideology won't let them back down. So
but Bill, they can't. They can't because they have control. The Ayatollahs have control of that country. Iron fist control. There's been protests and there's been stuff like that later, and they say like 36,000 people have been killed because of them.
Yeah.
And that's their way of control. So what the government of the United States is telling Iran, the Ayatollahs, is don't kill any civilians. Well, how else are we going to control them? They can't control them otherwise. I mean, they're brutal, and that brutality has kept them in power. And if we're telling them you've got to give up power basically because you're not allowed to control protesters, that would be basically saying we surrender, because they would lose the country to their own brethren. You know, their own citizens would take it over. Once there's a realization that you won't get killed, more people will take to the streets. And right now, there's massive amount of people, even under the threat of death. So the Ayatollahs can't say, "Oh yeah, no problem, we'll stop killing people." Of course, they're not going to say that. That's their method. That's how they control people. Do you see that? I just killed 10 of your friends. You still want to fight? Because they don't have the gun proliferation and Second Amendment like we do. There's a lot of guns over there, but that's all militias and Ayatollah stuff and all that stuff, army. So I don't see them backing down. They can't. They're going to die one way or the other. You remember Gaddafi? You know, Gaddafi gave up right after they beat him to death, but it was his own citizens because they the United States took away their ability to protect him from his own citizens. And he was such a brutal guy. The second the citizens realized, oh, you don't have any protection, you're done. That's how they live.
Yep.
That's a scary situation. Now, I rumor is, and I've heard there's been suggestions of I'll help you get out of town. But one way or the other, you're going to be done. And they're willing to sacrifice everybody else's life
Yes, they are.
to stay in power.
Yeah.
Because they think it's hollow and all that, and that it doesn't matter. And if I die, then I'm going to a better place. And I don't see them backing down. I don't see it. You know,
Yeah, unfortunately, I have my doubts on that too.
you can't just say, okay, protests are allowed. I'll give the government of the United States what they want. I won't kill any more civilians. Civilians, a million of them would rush that place and stone them to death because their only control is threat of death. They don't have control like we do, where it's a threat of court. Yeah, that's just threat of death, and it's a terrible situation. And the only way out of it is going to be a military action, a kinetic action. But I don't know what the plans are. No one's telling us.
Right.
You know, I keep reading, but no one's telling us. But I would assume it's more like the plans they had before, where if they wipe out the infrastructure,
Yeah, they'll take out everything.
then the civilians,
Communications, launchers, they'll take out
they've got no way to protect themselves from the civilians at that point. Civilians can take over at that point. In fact, we should just airdrop a bunch of guns.
Just give them the weapons. that they
Give them
need.
everything. Well, we did that in World War II. Your French and stuff like that.
The resistance.
Yeah, they would just drop a bunch of firearms. You know, there was some kind of collectible gun, like it was a 5-shot 45, like stamped material. You know, they probably made it for 50 cents, you know, and dropped it. But it was close range and all that. You know, they just drop these things all over the countryside, and people go out and pick them up. We should do that. Just drop those things all over the place.
Give them the tools.
Give them the tools, and then knock out their military, so that they're not as ferocious.
Yeah.
And then say, and just sit back and eat the popcorn, see what happens. It's a scary time, man.
It is.
It's tough. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people die over there. We don't want Americans.
It's not going to be pretty.
We don't want Americans. Now, you know, they flew F-22s over there already. The F-22s were scheduled to be paraded during the Super Bowl. I guess Bad Bunny asked for them.
Yeah.
No, Bad Bunny didn't ask for them.
That didn't happen.
That did not happen. But they did cancel that and said, you know, we'd like to accommodate you, but these guys are going to have something to do.
Yeah, they're busy.
So the F-22s, and those are still the most dangerous. They're older planes. But that's the only plane they built right now that I know about, the only plane flying that they built, that they've never sold to any foreign country, ally or not. It's just too high tech.
High tech, yeah.
It's just too high tech. And those F-22s, apparently for some reason, are much better aircraft than the F-35 in a lot of respects, and the other planes that we've got flying out there, the F-15s and all that. The F-22 is the bomb, you know. For some reason, they don't really give me the specs. I don't know what they are.
They're a pretty formidable aircraft.
Well, I've talked to some F-16 pilots before that had to do simulated combat with the F-22s. And the F-22s will take out 10, 15, 20 of them before they even know where they are. And this is all electronic combat. You know, it's not, they don't really fire the missiles. But they've got the ability to reach out and touch them before they know where the F-22 is. And I don't understand what that's all about, but they're stealth, but so's the F-35 stealth.
Yeah. And their engines are crazy fast, crazy powerful,
crazy expensive.
So they can turn on a dime.
They're fun to watch.
It's just a nut.
When you go to air shows and they go up and do some aerobatics with them and stuff, they move in ways that planes don't normally move.
Yep. Yeah.
They do.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. I'm curious to see, and I know I'm running out of time. We've got to go, but I want to see the F-47, which is, I love the fact that they made it the F-47 because of Trump.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't named the plane yet or given it a designation. They said, we're going to make it the F-47. We're going to skip right past the 46. Go right to F-47, man. That plane is supposed to be high-tech, secretive. We don't know what's in it. And it's supposed to be replacing F-22s. And it's supposed to be like flying like Mach 5 or something, something that's not legal according to physics. I'll be back tomorrow. Life, Death, and the Law next. AM 560 KBLU.
There's a man